What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name is Lucky, and today we're going to be talking about why are dealers always lying about car prices. I know this is extremely irritating and frustrating from a consumer end. As a dealer, I'm just as frustrated as you guys. It makes us look bad. So we're going to talk about all the stupid things that they're doing. Now, I have to give a huge shout out to Zach and Ray of iaai. They inspired today's video. Great group of guys, an amazing channel. I'll leave a link to their channel down below. Make sure you check them out. And I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, because this is why I'm wearing brown, because today's sponsor is bullshit, because this episode is going to be full of it. So make sure you stay tuned to the end. I'm going to give you a bunch of great information and why dealers are lying and why some of this is mostly their fault and how some of the things are going to change it, and definitely what's going to happen in the future. If you're new to my channel, I've been in the automotive industry for over 20 years, and as a dealer, I could tell you right now, I absolutely hate the way dealers do dealership. It makes us look bad, it puts a bad taste in people's mouths. So a lot of dealers practice a lot of stuff that was done back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you know, back when there was no internet. You can put pretty much pricing or whatever you want, and you can get away with whatever. But now with all these new regulatory things, the internet, more educated consumers, it's getting much harder to basically trick or fool a consumer. But dealers still try to do this to this day, and it makes us all look bad. And I'm going to explain why this is going to have a ripple effect all the way across the industry and how it puts a bad taste in everybody's mouth, because, you know, car buying experience should be fun. I mean, you're buying something new that maybe you wanted or you deserved. It's a big deal. Sometimes it's one of the second largest purchases in people's lifetime. But how many times have you met somebody that said, man, I had a great experience buying my car. I loved going to the dealership and getting kicked around for 3 hours and lied to? Nobody, because dealers are assholes. Well, not all of them. There are some good ones out there, but majority of them are assholes. They lie, they beat you up, they do these bullshit sales practices. So I'm going to tell you what's going on right now and some of the stuff to watch out for, what we're going to try to do at our dealership to try to separate that. But first, we're going to talk about advertised pricing. Now, this is one that burns my ass so bad. I really don't try to talk about it too much on the channel, because it's one of those things where I don't know why people lie. So let's say you're looking online and you're on like Auto Trader, Car Gurus, and you see this car that you want, and all the other cars are like $32,000, but this one is only $27,000. You get excited, you're like, wow, this is the cheapest one. It's, you know, maybe an hour away from my house. It looks great, it's exactly what I want. I'm so excited, it's $27,000. So you call the dealership. Yes, is this car still available? Sales rep, yeah, it's available, it's ready for you, I'll hold it for you, great. It's $27,000? Yes, sir, it's $27,000. So you get excited, you take your ass an hour on the road to go to this dealership to buy this beautiful $27,000 car. Now, on the way, most consumers are thinking, wow, if I'm getting it for $27,000, I'm gonna try to talk them down to maybe $26,000, $25,000 and get a really good deal. So you get to the dealership and you see your $27,000 car. You're super excited, you take it for a test drive, tell them you want it, you go to sit down numbers. Sales guy comes back and says, guess what? I got a great deal for you. This car is only $34,000. And you're like, well, I thought it was $27,000. Why has this gone up, you know, thousands of dollars? Oh, the sales rep will chime in, well, sir, you know, it's dealer fee, destination fee, alimony payment fee, child support fee, I gotta buy a new Mercedes fee. You know, by the time you're done, you have thousands of dollars racked up on the bill. And this is why customers have such a hard time having faith in dealers, because they always feel like they're getting screwed. So now the consumer is upset, like, well, man, I drove an hour to go buy this car because it was $27,000. There was one down the street from me for $32,000 that I probably could have bought. But instead, I drove an hour to save thousands of dollars, and I figured you'd be upfront with me. And dealers never will. So I always make this joke. The advertised price, 9 times out of 10, is absolute bullshit. What I tell everybody is you're not going to get the real price till you visit the wizard. And what I mean by wizard is either the finance guy or the GM. Anytime you call on a car, you should be like, hey, is this the price? What is the out the door price? I need all the fees, sales tax, everything included. I want the price before I drive, you know, an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is, to look at a car. And I've seen this multiple times. I get screenshots all the time from people that hit me up on Instagram. Lucky, is this a good deal? Should I buy it? And I always tell them, none of these numbers matter until you get to the dealership, because they will put some bullshit pricing on some piece of paper, email it to you, and then once you get in the box or the sales finance thing, they're gonna hammer you with fees, They're going to try to raise interest rates on you. They're going to do all this crazy stuff, which it's part of the business. I know dealerships got to make money, but I could tell you this, if you're more honest and upfront, you will not have any problems, because I tell everybody it's always easier to negotiate down than to negotiate up. So if the consumer comes in thinking, wow, I'm gonna buy this car for 27 grand, and then you slap them with a $34,000 or $35,000 sales price, that's hard to come down, because in his mind, he's already sold at 27,000. Now you got to get him up another $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, not including sales tax. It's a very hard sale. So with my dealership, everything is going to be, well, it's a joke. I'll give you an inside thing. So my dealership is going to be called Panda Auto Sales. And my joke is everything is going to be black and white. When I advertised my cars, it was always the actual price. The only thing I never included was sales tax, because I don't know if you're trading a car in, if you're from out of state, different counties have different tax things, so that's why I never put taxes in it. But I put the out the door price. Now, did this make me look more expensive than other dealers? Yes. Did it affect my sales? Ultimately, no, because we had a 4.9 Google rating with, a 4.9 rating with Google, because we had happy customers. When they came in, this is the price. I didn't lie to them, say, oh yeah, it's $10,000. And when they show up, by the way, it's $15,995. I never did that, because it is so irritating, because as a person, I don't want to go through that bullshit. And I don't want any of my customers doing the exact same thing. So what got us into this pickle is, believe it or not even the dealers. Because dealers, yes, they do a lot of practices that are shady and do a lot of stupid stuff. But with the invention of the internet and more educated consumers, this basically margin for error is getting smaller and smaller. But the people I blame are like Auto Trader, Car Gurus, Cars.com, all these stupid sites that us dealers have to advertise on. And all they do is force you and hammer you to give them the cheapest price, because your car could have more options, be a better car, clean Carfax, super clean. People do not give a shit. All they want is the cheapest price. They want to feel like they got a good deal. And even if you put the cheapest price online, they're still going to try to beat you up when you get there. So what they did was, if you're on Car Gurus, and you got to remember, as a dealer, and I don't know if you guys know this, I wasn't even a very big dealer. I had maybe 100 cars. They were charging me $5,000 a month to be on Car Gurus. And what they did for me for my 5 months that I was on there was tell everybody that my cars are overpriced. And I was like, this is bullshit. So I called up the Car Gurus guy. I'm like, what are you doing? You actually put on my ad, I'm paying you $5,000, and you're telling everybody my cars are overpriced. Oh, well, yeah, because look in your area, there's ones $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 cheaper. I'm like, yeah, if you go to the dealer's website, it'll say, oh, this price plus these fees, these fees, these fees equals this sales price. It was completely different than the advertised sales price. And I said this multiple times, they didn't care. They're like, well, look, we're gonna point everybody to who it is. I did not want to conform to it. So I winded up canceling that and just do social media advertising, because I believe that it's much easier to do. And I didn't want to conform to that, because I think that this is something that's forcing dealers to do stupid practices and piss a lot of people off. So after I canceled Car Gurus, I did the same thing with Auto Trader, everything else. None of my cars were online. Now I know most people tend to look at, those type of things. And so I thought that my sales would die. But I'm here to tell you dealers now, when I did advertising on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, my sales doubled, because I put what I did. I specialized in bad credit. I talked about the list price of the car. And then in my videos, I made jokes like, hey man, this is the price. It's not gonna change, blah, 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 and made some really funny, colorful videos. If you've seen my advertising on YouTube or Facebook, you know what I'm talking about. And that brought in more people than spending thousands of dollars on these stupid websites that are charging an absorbent amount of money for you to advertise on there, and then forcing you to do bad business practices of lying to consumers. So if you pick up a magazine and let's say Walmart has a bottle of ketchup for $2.89, when you walk in there, the bottle's gonna be $2.89. Why aren't car dealerships like this? And I remember when CarMax came out, a lot of people were like, man, CarMax, they're gonna go out of business. You can't negotiate. People wanna negotiate, they wanna haggle. CarMax is thriving in this industry. Why? Because they have the no haggle price. They just tell people, look, this is what the price is, even though they're more expensive than maybe most of the other retail dealers, people are willing to go there for less of a headache and less of a bad experience. Now, not saying that buying a car at CarMax is a walk in the park, but it's much better than getting beat up and haggled by multiple dealers. Even me as an automotive expert, when I bought my R8, I even worked the deal out before I left Vegas. When I went to Miami, went over all the numbers. After arriving there, they still tried to haggle me. They tried to get me to raise the sales price. They tried to lower my trade. They tried to do this, this, and this. And so I ended up, literally, I just walked out. They called me about 10 minutes later. We'll give you the exact same deal we told you. And I told them this. I was like, you don't do that to consumers. I mean, I've already worked the deal. I drove 3,000 miles. I don't know if you guys remember, I literally went from Vegas to Miami in my Mercedes-AMG GTS to buy my R8. And, you know, but they do that. And so if they're doing this to me, I know they're trying more than hell to try to haggle the shit out of regular people. And you don't have to do that. The buying experience should be fun. That's why these stupid companies like Carvana and Vroom, people are flocking to them because dealers put such a bad taste in their mouths. They would rather buy a car from a company that doesn't really exist, that's floating around the internet. You're buying a car, you're giving some stranger money, and they're dropping it off with a tow truck. And then on top of that, you're not getting your registration for over a year. People are more excited to purchase from them than they are from a regular local dealer. And this is hurting our industry. Every time I post a video, look at the comment section. Dealers need to die, dealers suck, stealership, they're a bunch of assholes, con artists. I can't even blame the consumers because of the bullshit that they do. You know, when you're trying to buy a $27,000 car, and then like I said, you get slapped with like a $35,000 price tag, it's very, it just sucks. That's the best way I could say it. I'm trying not to cuss as much as I can on this channel. If you guys see my Instagram, you'll see the way I really talk. But it makes us all look bad. Now, they were going to do some more consumers' rights and talk about advertised pricing. We don't know if that's going to change or not. But when I start my new dealership, which I'll go into now because that was today's video, I was actually going to tell you guys about my new car dealership. I was going to walk you around, show you about it, talk about amazing things. But man, it has been a huge pain in the ass. So I've been working on this for the last 3 months. We get there, now the old tenant doesn't want to move. They left a bunch of crap everywhere. They had to call in Metro. I'll put a video over here somewhere. You know, all kinds of issues. And so now we're going through the process of getting that person out, cleaning up the thing. So now we're about a month and a half behind. And then we talk to the city, and the city's like, oh yeah, we don't want automotive anymore. We hate automotive. We want to turn this into a arts district, live and work space, make it something beautiful. So now I got to go out in front of city council and ask them, can you please change the occupancy back to what it was? I'm a small business. I'm going to beautify the area, blah, blah, blah. And now not only am I fighting regular people on the dealership side because people hate dealers, now I got to deal with the political and government side because even the politicians and the city people hate dealers because of all the bullshit they bring. So it's just an uphill battle. Now, I love being a dealer. It was fun. Don't get me wrong, people stress me the hell out. There's nothing worse than telling people they have shitty credit and they're trying to buy a Mercedes and you're the bad guy trying to sell it to them. But I did this on purpose to be honest and transparent with people. So whether they liked it or not, whatever. But I didn't bury them in a 2020 Kia at 29% and they're gonna be buried for the next 10 years. But we would tell people what to do and how to do it and not to get themselves in trouble. So once we actually, if we ever do open up, like I said, our company's name is going to be Panda Auto Sales and everything is going to be black and white. So I'm hoping that this thing comes into fruition. Who freaking knows now? I love Las Vegas, but the city of Las Vegas, what a just a pain in the ass. That's all I could say. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any comments, things you want to share, please put them in the comment section below. I love to hear from you. Even if your opinion is different from mine, that's okay. We could still be friends. I love to debate it in the section down below because the whole point of this channel is to be transparent about the automotive industry. And I know we're in one of the most shadiest, craziest industries and not a lot of people talk about this. I still think my channel is probably the only one. I know there's a few guys popping up now, but I want to give you guys as much behind the scene information and also let you know some of the dealer's logic. Because like I said, I hate these advertised prices of 27 and then you get for 35, but dealers are not the only ones to be blamed. We got to blame Car Gurus, Auto Trader, Cars.com, Cars for Sale, like all these assholes because they force dealers to basically conform to what they consider to be favorable marketing. And right now, everybody's like that. Well, I look on Car Gurus, I look up the cheapest one. So remember, there's always two sides of a coin. You just got to see it from both sides, take that information, process it, and then come up with an educated decision or, I guess, choice on what you think is actually really happening. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you follow us on Instagram if you really want to see how I talk and all the crazy stuff we do behind the scenes @Lucky Lopez, and we'll see you next video.